Amanda Harper sat by her small garden, her frail hands tending to the blooming roses. She often found solace here, away from the whispers and scornful glances of the townsfolk. At 70, she had weathered decades of mockery for something entirely out of her control: her inability to bear children. A barren tree, they'd call her. What use is a woman who cannot nurture life? The words stung, but Amanda masked her pain with a soft smile. Inside, however, the silence of her home echoed her unfulfilled longing. Her husband, Gerald, had been her rock. He would hold her close on stormy nights and whisper, "You are enough for me, my love. Always." But Gerald had passed 5 years ago, leaving Amanda to face the world's cruelty alone. One evening, Amanda sat in her garden, gazing at the twilight sky. The setting sun painted her face with hues of orange and gold. She whispered a quiet prayer, one she had repeated countless times, though her faith had waned. "If it's your will, let me experience the joy of motherhood, even if just for a moment." Little did she know, her prayer had not gone unheard. A month later, Amanda began feeling unexplainable changes. At first she dismissed them as age catching up. She grew tired more quickly, her appetite fluctuated, and a strange fluttering sensation stirred in her abdomen. Her neighbor, Clara, noticed Amanda's unusual glow. "You seem different these days, Amanda," Clara remarked one morning over tea. Amanda chuckled softly, brushing it off. But deep down she felt an odd sense of anticipation, as though something extraordinary was about to unfold. The turning point came when Amanda visited Dr. Sullivan for a routine checkup. The elderly doctor, a kind man who had treated Amanda for decades, conducted a series of tests after hearing her symptoms. When he returned with the results, his hands trembled slightly. "Amanda, I don't know how to say this, but you're pregnant." Amanda's heart stopped. She blinked, unable to process his words. "That's not possible, doctor. I'm 70. Dr. Sullivan smiled, his eyes misty. "Miracles defy logic, Amanda. And I believe this is one." News of Amanda's pregnancy spread through the small town like wildfire. Some were awestruck, while others met it with disbelief and mockery. "A 70-year-old mother? She'll never live to see the child grow," one woman sneered in the marketplace. "She's just attention-seeking," another added. The cruel remarks didn't faze Amanda as much as they once would have. With each passing day, the life growing inside her gave her a sense of purpose she hadn't felt in years. She began speaking to her unborn child, sharing stories, hopes, and dreams. One rainy afternoon, a group of women confronted Amanda as she walked home from the store. "You should be ashamed, bringing a child into this world at your age," one of them spat. Amanda stopped, her posture firm. "For years you mocked me for being barren. Now that I've been blessed, you mock me again. Perhaps it's not me who should feel ashamed, but you." Her words silenced them. Amanda walked away, her head held high, her heart stronger than ever. As Amanda's pregnancy progressed, the town's reaction grew increasingly polarized. Some people, like her neighbor Clara, stood by her. Clara visited Amanda daily, helping with chores and keeping her company. "It's a miracle," Clara said one morning, placing a hand on Amanda's growing belly. "This child will be special." But others weren't so kind. The whispers turned into open ridicule. Amanda overheard 2 men at the church murmuring, "It's unnatural. She's cursed, not blessed." The negativity stung, but Amanda clung to her faith and the support of those who believed in her. She joined Clara for weekly knitting circles, where a few kind women began knitting tiny clothes for the baby. Slowly, the warmth of compassion started seeping into her once lonely world. Every evening, Amanda wrote letters to her unborn child in a leather-bound journal Gerald had once gifted her. "My dearest little one," she began one night, the lamplight illuminating her lined face. "You are already my greatest joy. I don't know how much time we'll have together, but I promise to fill your days with love and laughter." As she wrote, tears welled in her eyes. She missed Gerald deeply, wishing he could witness this miracle. "You would have been a wonderful father," she whispered into the quiet room. Amanda poured her hopes and dreams into those letters. She imagined the sound of her child's laughter, their tiny hands gripping hers, and the joy of seeing them grow, even if her time was limited. At her 7-month checkup, Dr. Sullivan looked concerned. "Amanda, you're doing remarkably well considering your age, but there are risks. Pregnancy at 70 is uncharted territory. We need to be prepared for complications." Amanda nodded, her resolve unshaken. "I've come this far, doctor. I'll trust God to carry us the rest of the way." Despite the warning, Amanda remained hopeful. She spent her days preparing the nursery, painting the walls a soft yellow and filling the shelves with toys and books she had saved over the years. Clara helped her organize a small baby shower, where a few kind neighbors surprised Amanda with thoughtful gifts: a crib, handmade blankets, and a rocking chair. That night, Amanda sat in the nursery, rocking gently in the chair. She hummed a lullaby, her hands resting on her belly. "We're almost there, my little miracle," she said softly. "Almost there." One cool autumn evening, Amanda had a vivid dream. She was standing in a lush meadow bathed in golden light. Gerald stood before her, looking as youthful and vibrant as he had on their wedding day. He smiled, his eyes filled with warmth. "You've always been strong, Amanda," he said. "Our child is a blessing, a gift to remind you that life isn't measured by its length but by its depth. Love them with all your heart and you'll never feel alone." Amanda reached for him, but he faded like morning mist. She woke up with tears streaming down her cheeks, her heart aching yet full of hope. The dream felt like a message, a reassurance that she wasn't walking this journey alone. As Amanda's due date approached, something remarkable began to happen. The harsh voices that once criticized her softened. Seeing Amanda's unwavering determination and joy, some townsfolk began to change their tune. A group of women who had once mocked Amanda stopped by her home one afternoon, carrying casseroles and flowers. "We were wrong to judge you," one of them admitted, her face red with shame. "Your strength is inspiring." Amanda welcomed them with grace, offering tea and heartfelt conversation. Slowly, the community started to rally around her, offering help and support. Even the church, where she had felt ostracized, invited her to share her story during Sunday service. Standing at the pulpit, Amanda's voice was steady. "I spent years praying for a child, and though I thought my prayers had gone unanswered, I see now that God's timing is perfect. This child is not just my miracle but a testament to hope, faith, and resilience." Her words moved many to tears. One crisp November night, Amanda woke with a sharp pain. She clutched her belly, realizing the moment had arrived. Clara rushed to her side and they called Dr. Sullivan, who arrived quickly with a midwife. The labor was long and arduous, each contraction testing Amanda's strength. Clara held her hand tightly, whispering words of encouragement. Amanda's mind was a swirl of emotions: fear, excitement, and overwhelming gratitude. As dawn broke, the cries of a newborn filled the room. Dr. Sullivan held up a tiny wriggling baby, his eyes misty with awe. "It's a girl," he announced. Amanda wept as they placed the baby in her arms. She gazed at her daughter, her heart swelling with a love she had never known. The baby's tiny fingers wrapped around Amanda's, and in that moment, every pain, every sorrow, and every year of longing melted away. "Welcome to the world, my little miracle," Amanda whispered, kissing the baby's forehead. She named her Joy, for that was exactly what she had brought into Amanda's life. In the days following Joy's birth, Amanda's world was a blur of sleepless nights and the sweet scent of baby lotion. Despite her age, she was filled with a vigor she hadn't felt in decades. The pain of childbirth faded quickly, replaced by an overwhelming sense of purpose. Clara was a constant presence, offering help with the baby and housework. "You're doing an incredible job, Amanda," Clara said, beaming at the newborn cradled in Amanda's arms. "She's a gift to this whole town." Amanda laughed softly, looking down at Joy's peaceful face. "She's my gift, Clara. I waited for so long, and now I know that every moment of waiting was worth it." The townspeople continued to surprise Amanda with their kindness, sending gifts for the baby and offering to help in any way they could. For the first time in many years, Amanda felt a deep connection with her community. The loneliness that had once consumed her was replaced with the warmth of love and belonging. As the months passed, Amanda found herself growing closer to Joy with every day. Her daughter's first smiles, first words, and first steps filled Amanda's heart with indescribable joy. Every milestone was a reminder of how blessed she truly was. The once judgmental townsfolk who had criticized her now came to her for advice. Some asked for guidance on raising their own children, while others confided in her about their struggles. Amanda became a beacon of wisdom, sharing her own experiences of waiting and trusting in God's plan. One chilly evening, Amanda walked into the town square, pushing Joy's stroller. As she passed the bakery, she saw a group of women gathered. They waved at her, and one of them called out, "Amanda, you've shown us that miracles can happen. You gave us hope when we had none." Amanda stopped, a warm smile spreading across her face. "I didn't do anything extraordinary. I just held on to hope and God did the rest." A year after Joy's birth, Amanda stood at the grave of Gerald, holding her daughter in her arms. The grief of losing him still lingered, but it was now mixed with a sense of peace. "I wish you could see her, Gerald," Amanda whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "She's everything we dreamed of and more." Joy babbled in Amanda's arms, her small hands reaching out toward the gravestone as if she understood. Amanda gently placed a single rose on the grave and whispered a prayer of thanks. That evening, Amanda sat in the rocking chair in Joy's nursery, gazing out the window at the stars. As she rocked back and forth, she thought about the years of sorrow and longing. They had led her to this beautiful moment, where she held her daughter, her miracle, in her arms. She smiled softly. "I have everything I need now, my sweet Joy. You are the answer to all my prayers." As she watched Joy drift off to sleep, Amanda realized that the love she had given and received in return was the true miracle, the miracle that no amount of time could ever take away. As Joy's first birthday approached, Amanda found herself reflecting on the past year. It had been a whirlwind of emotions, joy, exhaustion, gratitude, and an unshakable love that had transformed her life. One afternoon, Amanda received a letter from the town council. It was an invitation to a ceremony in honor of Joy's birth. They wanted to recognize the miracle that had brought the community together and given them all a renewed sense of hope. The idea of being publicly celebrated was overwhelming, but Amanda knew this wasn't just about her. It was about the community. Joy had shown them that miracles could happen, even in the most unexpected places. The ceremony was held in the town hall, and the entire town gathered to honor Amanda and her daughter. A beautiful plaque was presented to Amanda, engraved with the words, "To Amanda and Joy, who remind us all that hope never fades no matter the age." As Amanda held her daughter close, surrounded by friends and neighbors, she realized that this was the life she had always wanted. A life filled with love, support, and the quiet peace of belonging. As Joy grew, so did the ripple effect of Amanda's journey. Her story began to inspire others in the town who had struggled with their own dreams. with people who had once thought that life had passed them by. There was Betty, a woman who had longed for a family but never married. She started volunteering at the local children's shelter, finding joy in the lives of the children she helped care for. Then there was Thomas, a widower who had lived in isolation for years. He began attending church again, and slowly, with Amanda's encouragement, he started connecting with others in the community. Amanda never expected to become a beacon of hope for others, but as time passed, she realized that her journey was more than her own. It was about lifting others, helping them believe that it was never too late to change, to dream, to find peace. One evening, Clara came to Amanda's house with a big smile on her face. "I've been thinking, Amanda," Clara said, "we should start a support group for people who feel they've missed their chance at happiness." Amanda thought for a moment. "I think that's a wonderful idea. We can call it Second Chances." As the years went by, Amanda and Joy formed an unbreakable bond. Amanda watched in awe as her daughter blossomed into a bright, compassionate young girl. Her infectious laughter filled their home, and her curiosity about the world was a constant source of joy for Amanda. At the same time, Amanda grew older, her body slowing down with age. But her spirit remained just as strong as it had been when she had first found out she was pregnant. Clara remained by her side, still helping with Joy when Amanda needed a break, but also providing the companionship that Amanda had cherished for so many years. One spring afternoon, Amanda sat outside with Joy, watching her daughter run through the garden, laughing as she chased butterflies. Clara joined them, her eyes twinkling. "You did it, Amanda," Clara said, settling beside her. "You proved to all of us that anything is possible when you hold on to hope." Amanda smiled, her heart full. "It wasn't just me, Clara. It was all of us. We've all learned from this miracle, and it's made us stronger." Joy came running over, her small hands reaching up to Amanda. "Mommy, look. I found a flower just like the one in the storybook." Amanda took the flower in her hand and gazed at it. It was a bright, vibrant bloom, its petals open wide toward the sky. Just like her daughter, a reminder that life, no matter how late it seemed to begin, could still be full of beauty and wonder. "I see it, sweetheart," Amanda said, kissing the top of Joy's head. "It's perfect." As Amanda watched Joy grow, she knew that her journey was far from over. Every day with her daughter was a new chapter, and with each passing year she would continue to learn, to love, and to live the miracle she had once thought was impossible. As Joy entered her teenage years, she blossomed into a spirited, thoughtful young woman, carrying with her the values Amanda had instilled in her since birth. She had a curiosity about life and a deep empathy for others, traits Amanda often marveled at. One summer, the town decided to celebrate Amanda's journey, and in particular, Joy's impact on the community. The local park was transformed into a place of laughter and joy, with a picnic, games, and a stage for performances. Joy, now a teenager, was one of the featured performers. She had grown into an accomplished pianist, and that afternoon she played a song that Amanda had taught her to love, one that her late husband Gerald had adored. As Joy's fingers danced over the keys, Amanda stood in the crowd, tears streaming down her face. She had lived to see her dream realized, to see her daughter not just survive but thrive in a world that had once told her it was too late for second chances. When the performance ended, Amanda stood and clapped loudly, her heart swelling with pride. Joy ran to her side, her face flushed with excitement. "You were amazing, sweetheart," Amanda said, hugging her tightly. Joy smiled, looking at her with love. "I couldn't have done it without you, Mom. You've always believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself." Years passed, and Amanda continued to live her life surrounded by the love of her daughter, her community, and her newfound friends. As Joy neared adulthood, Amanda felt a deep sense of contentment. She had seen her daughter grow into the woman she had always hoped she would be, strong, independent, and full of compassion. One chilly autumn evening, Amanda sat down to write in the journal she had started during her pregnancy. It had become her most treasured possession, filled with letters to her unborn child. But now those letters were full of memories, of Joy's first words, her first steps, the moments that had filled Amanda's heart with a joy so pure that it was almost impossible to describe. "Dearest Joy," she wrote, "you've become everything I could have ever dreamed of. You've brought so much light into my life, and I hope you always remember how deeply you are loved. My life, no matter how long or short, has been complete with you in it." As Amanda closed the journal, she smiled, knowing that her story was no longer one of loneliness and longing. It was a story of love, of growth, of miracles that had come into her life when she least expected them. She looked out the window at the world outside. The seasons had changed, but the love she shared with her daughter was constant, unshakable. When Amanda turned 90, she knew that her time on earth was drawing to a close. The lines on her face had deepened, and her once quick steps had slowed. But in her heart, she still carried the same fire that had driven her to raise her daughter with unshakable love and faith. One evening, as the sun set over the horizon, Joy came to sit beside her mother on the porch. They had always shared these quiet moments, watching the world go by and reflecting on the beauty of life. "Mom, I want you to know how grateful I am for everything you've given me," Joy said, her voice full of emotion. "You taught me to never give up on love, and because of you, I know that miracles are real." Amanda smiled, reaching for Joy's hand. "You've always been my miracle, my darling. You've brought me a lifetime of happiness, and I'm proud of the woman you've become." Joy squeezed her hand tightly, tears in her eyes. "You gave me the greatest gift of all, Mom. You gave me hope." The days that followed were peaceful. Amanda's health gradually declined, and she spent her final days surrounded by the love of her daughter, who had become everything Amanda had hoped for and more. When Amanda passed away in her sleep, it was as though she had quietly slipped away to reunite with the love of her life, Gerald. Her community mourned her loss, but they also celebrated the incredible legacy she had left behind. A legacy of hope, strength, and the belief that it was never too late to embrace life's greatest gifts. Joy lived on, carrying her mother's lessons into the world. And when the time came for Joy to have children of her own, she did so with the same fierce love Amanda had shown her. Amanda's story lived on, passed down through generations, a reminder to all that miracles could happen when you held on to hope. No matter the age, no matter the challenges, no matter the doubts.